Stefon Diggs has been called a prima donna, a problem, a perfectionist, and a Pro Bowler, and somehow all of them are true. He's burned through quarterbacks, playbooks, and headlines, but he's never burned down. When the world thought his story was finished by a torn ACL, he refused to let that be the ending. Because Diggs didn't come to New England to fade out quietly, he came to prove that greatness isn't a moment, it's an ascent, one he's still climbing. And now, after all the noise and all the miles, the only question left is whether this version, the calm, cool, relentless one, is the best Stefon Diggs we've ever seen. And if so, can his leadership, his veteranship, help Maye carry the Pats back to the promised land?
Steph Diggs, he's a guy that is incredibly talented, has a hell of a lot to prove, and this is it.
He can move, he works hard, he's got great hands.
To Maye, looks left, throws it to the end zone for Diggs, reaches up, touchdown with the catch!
For the first few weeks of 2025, Stefon Diggs looked mortal. There were no fireworks, no headline moments, just a veteran wideout trying to find rhythm in a new offense. Then came weeks 4 and 5. Back-to-back statement games where he cracked the century mark and reminded the league exactly who he is. Vintage Diggs. The quick feet, the snap on his brakes, the hands that never flinch. And just like that, it felt like New England might have found its missing piece, but here's the twist. That hot streak cooled off fast. The yards dipped and the targets spread out, but unlike in years past, Diggs hasn't lost his mind over it. There were no sideline blowups, no cryptic tweets, just a veteran leading a young offense the right way. And that's because this isn't the old Diggs, the one fighting for every ball in Minnesota or locking horns with Josh Allen in Buffalo. This one's content doing the dirty work, setting picks, blocking in space, and teaching Maye what an NFL tempo feels like. He's still finding the end zone too. Consecutive touchdowns in weeks 8, 9, and 10 prove that, but they're more like punctuation marks than headlines. Proof that he can still be elite without demanding everything run through him.
Toss, catch Maye, Diggs has a touchdown!
In a system built on balance, he's become the balance. He's older, calmer, sharper, the tone setter for a locker room that suddenly feels grown again. If the Patriots' resurgence has a heartbeat, it's number 8, and the irony is that he's playing as loud as ever by saying less than he ever has. And this version of Stefon Diggs might just be the one that finally lasts.
Lean on your brother! Play for your brother! We all we got, we all we need! Play hard, play smart, offense, let's go beat us! Gang on 3, 1, 2, 3!
Now, long before Foxborough, before Buffalo and Minnesota, Stefon Diggs was a 5-star kid from Maryland trying to outrun bad luck. But when college injuries slowed him down, the NFL scouts pulled off. And by draft night of 2015, he stopped becoming a first-round headliner and he was a 5th-round afterthought. Now, 5th-rounders aren't supposed to change franchises, but within weeks in Minnesota, it was clear that Diggs wasn't ordinary. The precision in his routes, the edge in his play, that constant chip on his shoulder, not just to win, but to be seen. And by 2017, everyone had seen it. The Minneapolis Miracle was his coming out party. That night did more than just make his name, it burned it into NFL mythology.
Pass is caught! Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
An underdog from Maryland had just delivered one of the greatest playoff finishes ever live on national television, but underneath that miracle moment, the tension was already brewing. Minnesota's offense shifted towards the run. Adam Thielen got paid, and Diggs, the technician who wanted the ball when it mattered, started to feel boxed in. His fire, the same thing that made him great, started to clash with the system around him. It wasn't ego, it was frustration. He saw what he could be, and he knew he wasn't being used that way. So when he finally asked out, it wasn't only about targets, it was about control of his own story. Because for Stefon Diggs, every chapter has started the same way: overlooked, doubted, and underestimated. And every time he's been cast aside, he's forced his way back into the spotlight through sheer will. In Minneapolis, he forced his way out, betting his prime on himself and doubling down on the bravado that made him great. The next stop would turn him into a superstar, but it would also test how much that fire could burn before it started to burn him back. When Minnesota finally shipped him to Buffalo in 2020, it was supposed to be a reset. A gifted but volatile receiver landing with a young quarterback still figuring himself out. Instead, it was ignition. From day one, Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs clicked like they'd been waiting their whole lives for that partnership. The chemistry was instant and the results were absurd.
Here's Allen on 2nd and 10. Stepping up into the logo and throwing. He's got Diggs wide open. It's caught. Touchdown.
Diggs was a first-team All-Pro who led the league in targets, catches, and yards. Defenses game planned for him, bracketed him, shadowed him, and he still cooked them weekly. It's how the Bills went from playoff hopefuls to legitimate title contenders. For a while, it looked perfect. A quarterback who trusted him, a system built around him, and a fan base that worshipped them both. However, perfection in the NFL never lasts long. By 2022, the cracks started showing again. The cameras caught sideline flare-ups, the interviews turned tense, and behind the scenes, the frustration returned along with the same old feeling that the offense was drifting away from it. It wasn't a melt time this time, it was a slow but steady erosion. What started as electric began to flicker just enough for everyone to feel it.
We saw like the arms out looking like, man, this is not who we are for whatever reason. Like, I didn't come here to be average. I came here to go to a Super Bowl. Remember that Minnesota Miracle? Like, I wanted to do more.
Each season, a little less chemistry, a few more whispers, and then in 2024, the breakup came. Buffalo moved on, citing cap space, culture, and a new direction. But let's be honest, it was about control all along. Diggs was never built to just go along. He plays like a man who believes the game bends his way if he works hard enough. And when that belief isn't shared, he finds a new field to prove it on. So when he landed in Houston, it felt like deja vu. New team, new premise, and a new beginning. Until a torn ACL in Week 8 ended it all before he could change the narrative. That injury should have been the beginning of the end. Hell, for most players, it would have been the end. Instead, it became the crack in the story where something new started to grow. Houston was supposed to be a pit stop, a place to prove that he could still be that guy. Instead, it became the detour every player fears, the one that makes you question if you'll ever get back. Non-contact, Week 8, ACL gone, and season over.
Fortunately, he tore his ACL, so he'll be out for the year. Really hurts our team to hear that news.
For a player built on explosion and precision, that kind of injury is usually an expiration date. But Diggs didn't see it that way. He attacked rehab the same way he attacks corners, with intent, discipline, and zero wasted motion. While the league moved on, he went quiet. No cryptic posts, no headlines, just work. By the time free agency came, most teams saw a 32-year-old receiver with a questionable reputation coming off a major surgery. The Patriots saw something else, a tone setter for a locker room that needed one. So, Diggs got a comeback contract. Not mercy, not nostalgia, but one earned off sweat and stubbornness. 3 years, $69 million later, he was in Foxborough. Not as the savior, not as the diva, but as the grown-up in the room. From day one, everything was different in New England. He wasn't barking for targets, he was showing rookies how to finish rounds. He wasn't chasing validation, he was chasing execution. And Drake Maye, he didn't get a babysitter, he got a mentor.
Don't take your foot off the gas. Let's put it together and make a quick run.
What's different though? Well, for one, Josh McDaniels' system spreads the ball around, and Diggs is fine with that because he understands the bigger picture now. Every slant, every decoy route, and every block is all part of winning. And for the first time in a long time, that's been enough for TD Jakes. Most players lose a step, but he found another gear, even before the brace came off. So the ACL didn't end him, it simply stripped away everything but what mattered: consistency, leadership, and a genuine love for the grind. All that flash and fury that once defined him is now fuel, controlled, focused, and dangerous. Because when you've lost what you love and you fight your way back to it, you don't waste it, you protect the hell out of it.
Yeah, Diggsy, that's him. You're here today. Yes, sir. Let's go, baby.
Now, rolling into the second half of the season, it's become crystal clear. Stefon Diggs didn't come to New England to be featured. He came to be found again. The stats don't scream all pro, they whisper efficiency. Every catch feels colder and cleaner, like a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. Fewer targets, higher catch rate, and touchdowns when the Patriots need them most. There's no drama, no headlines, just production that matters. In 2025, Diggs has become the heartbeat of a young roster, learning what professionalism actually looks like. When Maye misses a throw, Diggs doesn't roll his eyes, he claps his hands and lines up again. When a rookie drops a pass, Diggs is the first to grab him by the helmet and tell him to shake it off. It's not performative leadership, it's lived experience. In a system that spreads the wealth around like few others, he's the one holding it together. Drake Maye and Travion Henderson are the ones getting all the headlines, but number 8's the receiver who makes the decoy routes matter, who keeps the safeties honest and corners guessing. And when his number does get called, the execution still looks the same. He still has a crisp release, separation, and elite route precision. There's no wasted steps, no wasted emotion. Now, Foxborough's seen stars come and go, but this version of Diggs feels like something different. He's not trying to prove that he's still elite, he's proving that being elite can look different now. Suddenly, the whole field feels bigger, and every play is an echo of what New England used to be. The Patriots offense finally feels layered again, and at the center of it all is a player who's learned that sometimes the loudest statement is sweet silence and 6 points. Stefon Diggs has spent a decade rewriting his reputation one chapter at a time. From fifth-round sleeper to miracle maker to franchise star and to lightning rod, he's now the veteran who seems to have it all figured out. What stands out most isn't the numbers, it's the evolution. The same intensity that once boiled over now powers his poise. The same fire that caused friction now fuels everyone around him. He's gone from asking for the ball to demanding accountability. That's the full circle shift here, from chasing personal glory to creating team chemistry. Every great receiver faces this crossroads when the athleticism fades just enough to test whether the craft was ever real. For Diggs, the answer's obvious. The craft was the point all along.
As soon as I broke and I saw you go, I spent out so fast.
He's not chasing the ghosts of his peak anymore, he's chasing something more durable, his legacy. Not as the loudest voice in the room, but as the one who finally figured out how to be heard. And if this version of Diggs can help Drake Maye grow up faster and make Foxborough believe again, then his last act might be his most impressive one yet. The kid from Maryland who turned a fifth-round pick into a decade of relevance has come full circle. After everything, the highs, the fights, the fallout, he's found something the stat sheets have never tracked. Peace with who he is. And maybe that's what greatness looks like in the end. Not louder, just better. Isn't that what redemption is really about anyway? Not erasing the past, but owning it so completely that it can no longer haunt you. So, what do you think? Is this the final form of Stefon Diggs or the start of one last run towards something bigger? If you think the Patriots resurgence runs through number 8, hit like and subscribe because this version of Diggs isn't done yet, and Snap Count's here to make sure everyone knows it.